Let's get started. Come on. Yes. On this episode of Markable Thoughts, I'm going to talk to you about the opportunities of a lifetime. Or even better, the opportunities of your lifetime. Yesterday I was with my web developer, Case. We were building on my platform, the Trickle Media platform. And yeah, at some point the day was over, I had to go home. Now, normally I go home, like I have to travel for 30 minutes with bus and then train. And normally I would just put in my headphones. But Case and I talked throughout the day a few times about his concussion. And because Case had a concussion over a few weeks ago, and I told him to just chill out. He didn't need to work as much because he just needed to relax. Otherwise, he would have way more problems with his concussion. So I told him to relax. And what was interesting is that Case told me that he stopped listening to music. When he started to relax and when he went down in his pace, like you just slowed down, all of a sudden he didn't find the need to listen to music. If he would travel or whatever, he would just be in the moment and not listen to music. And he said something really interesting to me. He said, yeah, I don't want to listen to music anymore, especially when I go out of the house, because it creates some kind of trance. Like you get in some kind of situation where you listen to the music constantly. You're listening to the same music over and over again, right? And we already know we almost always operate on our automatic pilot. And what happens when you listen to the same music again, you get that same program, you get that same triggers, and you get into the same habits. And what happens is that, for example, when you travel, you don't pick up on things anymore. You just listen to music and all of a sudden you're there. You're at the destination. But you don't pick up anything anymore because you're on that autopilot. Sometimes you don't even know how you got there, right? And that's all fine, and it doesn't seem like a big problem, but it could be. It could very well be, because what happens, well, let me tell you. He told me that, and I remembered that when I went home. So I figured, all right, I'm going to pull out my earphones, and I'm not going to look at my phone for the entire trip. It's only 30 minutes. But the amount of inputs that I got right now with just my surroundings, different sounds, different people. Actually, the people around me became people instead of just random things in in the way. When you're listening to music, you don't really relate to other people because you're in your own world, you're in your own bubble. But if you leave all those distractions out, then you have nothing else to do than to interact with those people. Even if they don't interact with you, you look at people, you start to notice things because your mind constantly wants to be entertained in some way. So you're picking up more things in your environment, but also within you, you start to listen to yourself a little bit more. Instead of listening to lyrics of other people, listening to other people's thoughts, in essence, you start to listen to yourself. And all of a sudden you get really profound ideas and things start to pop up. And all of a sudden you are starting to solve issues in your life. You start to do better things. That's what I noticed within 10 minutes of not listening to music on the bus. It's really interesting what you can do within 10 minutes or what you can think of. And what I noticed is that everyone is constantly in that bubble. Everyone's looking at their phone or listening to music. And it's not a bad thing on its own, but when that becomes the default habit, it can become a bad thing because you don't notice what you're missing. That's a really big thing. You don't notice what you're missing. There are opportunities everywhere. When I started to just not listen to music and not look at my phone when I go out of the door, I noticed that some guy said good morning to me. I noticed a girl walking over the street looking at me. I noticed and just notice opportunities. Like I could have had a conversation with the guy. I could have had a conversation with the girl. I could have Like those conversations, you never know where they leave you. But if you have music on, if you are in your own bubble, then no one, like, it's getting really hard to get those opportunities. And so that is on your personal level. But what about your business level? What about your branding level? Your videos that you make, the things that you do to sustain yourself. Maybe you have a job right now, but you want to get rid of the job. You want to be more independent. Well, a lot of people say that, but a lot of people don't do anything because they're not noticing the opportunities. Opportunities are everywhere. I could do anything that I want. I could continue make these videos and get some sponsors. I could get a lot of subscribers if I would just do this every day. I could develop my coaching business. I coach people on how to connect better with their audiences. I could pick up videography again. That's not that hard. I could pick that up. I could pick up live streaming. I could do so many things just because I got one lead, and I can just pick up that lead and just follow the path. It's not that hard, but you need to find the opportunities. And maybe that opportunity is someone you meet on the street. There are so many connections that you're missing just because you're not paying attention. And when I say you, I mean me. And when I say me, I mean you. Everyone's doing it. Everyone is distracted right now. And that's what makes it really easy to stand out. That's what it makes it really easy to grab those opportunities, because everyone is looking for phenomenal people. And if you stop being distracted so many times, like just less than other people, then you will be, relatively speaking, phenomenal. And I was also thinking, like, just think about how good you would be in a skill if you would trade all the time you're spending on your phone just doing nothing for training that skill. You would be pretty good at it, and you probably could be making money with it. You could sustain yourself with it if you just be a little bit smart about it. But that's the whole thing. If you just practice one skill, you will find someone that is willing to pay you for it, or is willing to help you get paid for it. It's not that hard. And in that way, if you stop being distracted, if you stop listening to music when you're out of the door, then you might just find a way better life. Opportunities are infinite. You just need to grab them. You just need to find them and take them. These were my thoughts. Bye.